A life in a new place for a while. A life which is beside the main current of life. A little correspondence with lemons. A little distance between this energy and myself. A little nervous. A little too long, and it's boring now. A look of concern, like my mother's look of concern, is settling over my face. A loss and an unhappiness. A lot of changes are happening. A lot of fear, but of what? A lot of people in their 20s get an addiction. A lot of talk about couples and dating, but the more I think about it, the more I think I've been in a pretty sweet situation this past month, not dating. A man must part company with the inferior and the superficial. A man of discretion. A man to love. A man who could physically kill me in under a minute is a man who is easy to sleep beside. A man who goes out in the world and gets what he wants for himself. A man who I could have in the center of my life, even a child, and my family could fit themselves into the healthiness and happiness of that. A man who would be mine. A manic feeling yesterday made me almost rent out that apartment in New York, but I won't. It's not yet time for that. A mild form of hysteria, always. A moment after seeing him, a big lurch went through my stomach, and I tried not to look at him as we talked. A new relation to life. A new relationship born from the ashes of the old and dead one. A new tone, a new ringtone. A nice kind of animal impulse to want to sit near a tree just because it's a tree, and we continue to drink from the blue goblet, the vodka, and the orange juice that Tom had squeezed with his bare hands. A person's life should not be so filled up that a surprise friend can't come in, but that doesn't mean they have to become your new best friend. A person's loyalty should always be to their partner, but I talked more than I wanted to or intended to about Pavel. A phone call from him yesterday, a surprise. A place I partly crave to settle into, but don't. A playfulness, a sense of life being without consequence, that voracious sexuality that wants to eat things up, that selfishness, that kind of confidence and cockiness and ease, being on top of things, being in New York. A quiche and then an apple pie for dessert? A radical sympathy with all people based on their integrity as becomings, not beings, as people who experience the potential freedom of their own souls, so to radically know that people experience themselves from the inside and not one person alive has ever experienced themselves from the outside. A return to writing. A ritual sacrifice of the purest animal I could find. A savory pie followed by a sweet pie? A series of titles? A shoddy world. A simple life. He would go home to have dinner with his wife and kids every night. A single life, good for so many of the phases and periods of life. A sudden happiness pierced me. A sweet kiss with him in front of the grocery store on Bloor. He kissed me on my cheek and I kissed him on the lips, just a sweet little one. A tendency to idealize the past. That's me. A tremendous amount is lost when there's a breakup. A trip to LA. A trip to New York. A wanderer on this tiny patch of earth. A waste of time drinking. A white moth is resting on the windowsill. A woman and two men are traveling in the desert. A writer has to follow their curiosity first and foremost. A writer is just one person under the stars, one person in a universe, writing about a whole entire universe. A young and attractive woman feels it should be otherwise in her head. Ability to find monologue books about decadence and narcissism, about humans in general, about leaving town, about to sell it soon, I think. Action in conformity with the situation. Activity and haste prevail. Actually, he doesn't love you. Actually, he doesn't want you. Actually, he's looking around the world for another girl, and because of who he is, he will find her and be with her. Actually...